Your baby's close to you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Courtney.
Police, what's going on at 515th Street? What's going on down there? We have a kidnapping. Alright, please, Frank.
Hello? Oh, nothing more creepier than a freaking shaft. Hello? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We have a special guest today. We have Gisela K from Grizzly True Crime. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I am good. How are you?
Excellent. Honored to have you on here. It's been a while.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, guys, we got a big show. So we've got some new drone footage to show you guys. Also, I told you guys that we went out there with a new app for the drone. It's called Drone Deploy. It allows us to actually map in 3D real time. So we'll show some of that as well towards the end of the show. We do have some updates with Jim and all that, and a few things for Chase that I kind of dug up. So we'll go over that. But before we get started, we'll in all my videos, I like to introduce missing person cases. So we will quickly start with that real quick here. So let me hit that. Okay, so this is Kaylee Jones from Carrollton, Georgia. She is 5'8" and 135 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. Says she was last seen by her parents around bedtime on Tuesday, June 14th of this year. She was last seen near Whooping Creek Church Road in Carrollton, Georgia. Apparently, when they woke the next day, she wasn't there. It was first apparently, sadly, misclassified as a runaway, but that is not the case. Apparently, she might have been groomed. She could have been playing some online games or something, and they feel like she was stalked and somebody took her, sadly. So anybody in Carrollton, Georgia, please keep a lookout for Kaylee. I'll let this play for just a second. It should show just a kind of a close-up of her face here. Catch up there. There we go. And then we've got one more. Since I've been following the Dylan Rounds case, I always like to mention Aiden Clune just because I feel really bad for his mother, who I've also been in contact with. And maybe we could have her on the show sometime, maybe next week or something. I got to talk to her first. But so this is Aiden Clune. Can you guys hear me okay? I just saw someone say no volume. Are we good? Everything good? I see just one person put no volume. There's no sound to this right now. So this is Aiden Clune. So he went missing a month prior to Dylan on April 27th of this year, approximately, I think it was like 50 or 60 miles south of Wells, Nevada. He's 19 years old, 5'8", 125 pounds, brown eyes, brown hair. And unfortunately, he parked his truck on the side of the US 93 and then apparently just got out of his truck. I think he even left his door open and then just walked into the mountain range. Sadly, a highway patrolman had pulled up behind him shortly after he'd gotten out, tagged the truck, but unfortunately didn't investigate at that time. They left, and then sadly they come back later. They were able to track him for about like 10 miles, I believe, and then sadly haven't seen him since. So it's kind of a sad case because you got two kids that go missing around the same time, close to the same area. But here, let me do that. There we go. That's better. I'm still a newbie at this stuff with StreamYard, but we're getting there. But what do you think about Aiden Clune? Do you think it's any connection with Dylan Rounds?
I don't think there's a connection just based on even what I've heard his mom say in some of the interviews. It seems like it was like a mental health break, something going on with these new antidepressants and things. But it is strange that it is in a similar area. They're not that far apart, and it's weird how they both had red pickup trucks and they were both like the same age. It's strange. Really weird coincidences, but I don't think they're related.
Yeah, and then I think some people might, if they don't know the backstory, then it would look a little more eerily similar. But once you start breaking down the background, and you understand that he was actually from California, and was actually drove out here, and was actually coming here to Salt Lake to live with his grandmother, and then apparently he was talking with his mother on the phone, and started, because he was just on these new meds, and these medications, they can really mess up your thought process. And he started getting paranoid, and so he ended up turning around, and he went west. And his debit card was used in Wendover. I think he got some gas, and then just west of Wendover is Wells, Nevada, and then he spent the night at a hotel. And then early in the morning, like really early in the morning, he got up and left. And then that's when he went south. And then he got out of his truck, about 60 miles south of Wells.
Yeah, and there was like hiding from searchers and stuff based on the footprints they found, right? The tracks and footprints. They say he was probably hiding in the bushes and hiding away. So shame, the paranoia.
Yeah, and we've seen cases like that where just paranoia just hits, and the mind's a fragile thing, and it's a shame. But I know that they are doing a search party this weekend, so hopefully they'll have some success.
Yes.
Okay, so on to Dylan Rounds. So just quick before we get into the new footage, I've got a mix of everything. I got new footage plus a few things that I showed yesterday, just because I just wanted to show for those who might have missed it yesterday. So just quick backstory. He was, this is Dylan Rounds, 19 years old, 5'10", 160 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Was last seen at the bar in Saddle Sore Bar, which is in Montello, just on the border of Nevada and Utah. It's a tiny little town. And he used his debit card there. But then he talked to his grandmother on the 28th, early in the morning at 6:51. And he spoke with his grandmother real quick and said, hey, I'm going to park my grain truck inside the shed because it's going to rain. And from what I understand, I believe it was already starting to rain at 6:30. Now, it started as light rain, and then it turned into heavy rain. But even heavy rain's not, like out here in Utah, we've had some terrible droughts. And it rains, but it's not like heavy rain.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I went to Ohio for a couple of years, and I came back just 2 years ago. And when I was out in Ohio, that was the first time I seen it rain, like actually dump. Like Batman movies, like The Dark Knight, when you see it rain, or any movies, because they use these, contraptions where it's like sprinkler systems, but you see it dumping and everything. And that's what it was like out in Ohio. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen rain like that since I was a kid out here in Utah.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So this is his farm here. This is where, this was his first year that he was going to be growing some feed. And the prior 2 years, he was just setting up the farm. And this was the first year he was actually going to plant and all that stuff. But sadly, after that phone call, we don't know if he made it back to his trailer or not. His truck was found at the trailer. His truck, let's let this play here. It should just catch up here in just a second. Up at the top, you can see where the grain shed was, and then to the right is where his farm is located. Okay, it should go any second now. Let's get it forward. Okay, so he spoke to his grandmother at 6:51. Then his cell phone last pinged at approximately 3:41. Yeah. And then I just kind of show where they talking about where the cell phone ping was. Now, obviously, it's just approximate, but they said it was right on the edge of the 14.4 mile radius of the tower that was north. And which is interesting because we actually flew our drone real close to that area because there's a wash just north of that little spot that we were actually flying our drone in. Wow. Okay, so now, because one of the things we haven't been talking about on this channel is the persons of interest, or players, should we say, in the Dylan Rounds case. Just because since we've been going out there every week, the last thing we want to do is talk about a certain person and then run into them while we're out there. You know what I mean? I don't think people fully understand. So that's kind of why I haven't really dove into like all these kind of players surrounding this case. But now that we got Jim, so we have Jim and Don, who are the two that were working for Dylan. And then, of course, there's been some big news with Don lately. Of course, they picked him up recently over at the end of last month. Jim did work for Dylan and now is considered kind of like a suspect in the Dylan Rounds case, in disappearance, I should say. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Wow. I mean, we were looking at Don as a red flag because he got fired weeks before. Chase because he's the man that's tumbling out of the desert with no shoes and bloodied up. And then Kurt Wadsworth and like James, Brenner, Jim. That's who the suspect is. Wow. It's very interesting. And I guess now that we can see some of his history from all the records, I mean, now it kind of makes sense a little bit. But we still don't know what happened. He knows, though. Have you seen the pictures of them putting him beside the Dylan picture where Dylan's got a hat on? And then people are saying, is he wearing Dylan's hat? But it's not quite the same. I've done like let's see if we can match them. It's not quite the same. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, of course, so Don, Jim is in custody. Yeah, Don is not. Don, and like I said, I've talked about this since day one. Don is, from what I've understand, when we first went out there, we spoke to the locals, and they said Don seems like a decent guy. Obviously, you can't rule him out, but from what we heard, he babysat some birds for the people that we talked to, and they thought he was a decent guy. And then, of course, Chase, who's kind of the first person that we heard about, Chase Venstra, because, yes, he was the guy that Dylan told his mom that he didn't give a ride to, but then when it turned out that he was the person that actually he did give a ride to Chase. And then Chase would be picked up later on, shortly after, in north part of Utah, on unrelated charges. And
who was it? His dad that took him to Ogden? Because I still want to know, how did he get from Montello to Ogden?
So he supposedly made it to mile marker 53 in Park Valley. So part of the reason why they were out there in Park Valley is because they know that Chase made it to mile marker 53, which is right between 53 and I guess you could say 55 is like, because Park Valley is just a small little town. It's like Montello, probably even less than that. And I've got footage of Park Valley. If we have some time, we might look at that. But anyway, so his dad apparently came and picked him up around mile marker 53. So
okay. I was wondering, okay.
Everything good, mods, and just let me know if everything's good. because I'm using StreamYard, so everything's kind of set up differently. It's not something I typically use unless we have guns on or guests on. I just read guns. Guess. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. So for those that might be newer to my channel, I've been out there. This is the third time we've gone out there. We've been out there every week since week 2. So we've been out there week 2, week 3, and week 4 that he's been missing.
Wow.
Let me skip this forward. And then this last time we, of course, so let's get this forward. Okay, so I'm going to pause it there. So the first 2 times, obviously, we went out there with drones. This last time, because we work with a nonprofit organization with search and rescue out here in Utah, which is really cool. And so all the footage that we get, we send it right over to them, and then they review it. They have special software that can detect amazing things, and I'll show you some of that when we at the end of the show, because it's really cool what they can do. But the lady I work with closely that works at the drone place, she told us about this app. And here, I'll just kind of play while we're talking here. Hopefully it will play. So, hoping it plays. Did this to me last time. I think it's just got a buffer for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Good evening.
So it skipped right past this. Let me try this again. Okay, it should be right after this. Okay, here we go. Cool. It's got a lot in it, so it might be that's probably why. So this is one of the first places we went to. And we can't give away our location because obviously we didn't go to Lucin because they didn't want anybody out there. But we had some leads that were east of Lucin, let's just say that. So that's where we were at. And of course, we talked to Search and Rescue, who were in contact with Box Elder County. And they said, that's fine. Well, unofficially said that's fine. As long as you guys aren't near Lucin, you're okay to go, over where, I told them we were going. So I said, no problem. So then we came across this. We just want to show this just because this is the most bizarre thing. What do you think of this?
Yeah, what in there? It's like it's a bed, right? It
was a bed.
Wow,
now,
that's
but it
just
has
so
no
weird.
fabric on it. And then
it must have been cool when it was operating. It must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, you could just sit there and stare at the stars. Well, I just had to
Damn.
show this. Then we'll get into the drone footage. But I mean, it's just something you don't see every day.
No.
I mean, it's just the craziest thing.
Wow. Nap time.
And that's just in the middle of the desert, Yeah, there was
Wow.
a camper. Obviously, somebody had, lived there at one point. But Nick is like, all right, I got to try this. And Nick is obviously my cousin. I'm the Robin to his Batman. He's my Bear Grylls.
Good evening. We begin tonight with new information.
All right, so this is the first. So while we're listening to some of the new drone footage, this is from, I can't remember which news channel, ABC4U or Channel 13, but they are just talking about the arrest of James, who we know as Jim. So we will listen to that. Nap time instead of map time. There you go.
Yeah, nap time, everyone.
I'm going to turn off this banner real quick here. There we go.
The ongoing search for a Box Elder County teenager. We've learned about a second person of interest in the case.
Yeah, this comes just 24 hours after we first reported a suspect had been named in Dylan Round's disappearance. News specialist Matt Rascone joins us live right now with more from investigators and from Dylan's family. Matt?
Yeah, Mike and Deanie from.
So I just talked about that big fat tuna. We did not go to Lucin. And like I said, we work with Search and Rescue, and we didn't go anywhere near Lucin. We went on a separate lead that is 50, 60 miles away from there. And like I said, we are in contact with a group that is in contact with Box Elder. They didn't want people going out to Lucin because there was a big thing that everybody was going to go out to Lucin. That's where law enforcement and I think even FBI might even still be out there. And they didn't want people going out there. They didn't want people getting hurt. They didn't want people maybe finding evidence and contaminating it. A bunch of things. And as a matter of fact, Box Elder is the one that actually first put out the statement. Then the family responded. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people think it was the family that put out that statement. But it was actually Box Elder who put out a statement. And then they just kind of, followed it up. But like I said, we spoke to our contacts and told them where we were going. And we had the green light.
The start, Dylan Round's family has said that he did not just walk away from his farm. Last month, the sheriff's office announced it was a criminal investigation. Today, that investigation led them to a family friend who's now a suspect.
The focus of the family has been just finding Dylan.
Nearly 6 weeks into the search.
We beat that desert to death.
Still no sign of Dylan Rounds.
It's been 40 days of hell.
But for the first time, investigators have named a suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin near the Nevada border.
Every little piece of information we get, you hold it so tight and you hope so badly it's going to lead to something.
Dylan's mom, Candace Cooley, says the family is acquainted with Brenner. At one point, he lived in a trailer on their property, helping Dylan bale hay.
Didn't know the man real well, but never had any reason for alarm.
The sheriff's office says interviews, evidence, and forensic data led them to Brenner, who is currently being held in jail on unrelated federal gun charges.
Whether or not they're the ones we want to hear, we want the answers.
Just days before Dylan was last heard from on May 28th, he had what family describes as a strange encounter with a man. The sheriff's office says that man is a person of interest in the case, and like Brenner, he's also facing unrelated federal gun charges.
We are doing everything we can to bring our son home.
For now, the family is asking the public to stop searching for Dylan on the ground and let federal and local authorities investigate.
It's just a puzzle, and we're just slowly adding little tiny pieces, and hopefully we finish it and we find out what happened to our son.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard about that, but yeah, Brenner has been known to shoot at people. So you know how there's the sun tunnels out there?
Oh, yeah.
Gisela? So
Yeah,
the sun tunnels is just south of the grain shed. Like the road that you can take right to the grain shed is the same road that'll take you south to the sun tunnels. So apparently from what's been coming out is that Brenner would think that people are trying to get on to the property or something because they were lost. They were just trying to see the sun tunnels because it's a small little tourist attraction for my members. I've shown you guys, we've did a members only video flying the drone around it. It's really cool. And they set these tunnels up. It's for, the summer equinox, when it's the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year. So you have two tunnels and then you stand in one and then the sun will peek through the other tunnel. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So,
So was he shooting at people that went out there because he thought they were on the property or what?
Yeah, I don't know if just paranoid or what, but
Wow.
just for a guy to do that just shows you that he's not all there.
That is the hope, of course. The sheriff's office is still building their case. No charges for the suspect in this case, but he is expected in court here on unrelated charges. And the sheriff's office tells me they are still no closer to actually knowing where Dylan is right now. Mike and Dini.
It's got to be so hard. I hope that family can get some answers. Matt, thank you.
Yeah, so it's tough. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't even know. I just at the moment I'm feeling protective of you because you went out there, right?
Yeah.
And you went out there, you spent your own time, your own money and everything, and you even lost your car, rode off your car, kind of damaged your car over it. For people to even question why do you go out there, I'm like, wow. Whereas there's obviously all this drama surrounding the case, which is so unfortunate what's happened online. But like, you're one of the good ones. You've really been sticking to the facts. You haven't even speculated, as you say, persons of interest yet. Of course, you don't want to put yourself in danger, but I mean, you've really kept it factual. You have this awesome drone footage. So yeah, I'm in full support of it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I've made mistakes because I think everybody has, because it's been like, as far as like mapping everything out, because it's been confusing. You know what I mean? With like the grain shed, the farm. I still get people telling me, no, the farm's over here. Where I have the farm, that's where the farm's at. Because I mean, I've been out there. I've been to the grain shed location.
Exactly.
The farm, we've been close by, but we didn't actually get to check out the farm really.
But you were pretty close, right? Well, you were like along that fence area, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you hear as well when Candace Cooley, Dylan's mom, said that Jim's trailer, like as in Dylan's boots were found just 100 to 150 yards behind Jim's trailer? Like I never knew his trailer was right there.
Yeah. So
wow.
I'll if we get some time, he has a trailer. So he has property apparently on the Nevada side on Montello, and I'll show you. But I think he was staying at a few trailers.
Yeah, and one was, I can't believe how close the one was to where the boots were found. That's what she said, I think yesterday at one of those, like at the pre-trial hearing or whatever. Whoa, that's so close. So yeah, he's definitely, I can see why he's a suspect.
Wow. So like I said, we are flying at an undisclosed location east of Lucin, very, very far. This is kind of on a separate lead. This is kind of, in a way, following Chase Ventra's last. Not that I think he's like a suspect. I mean, they've kind of named him. Like, I think a channel did kind of hint at him being like a person of interest. I would think at the very least he would be, a person of interest, just because he's kind of one of the last people to be with Dylan.
Yeah.
Or known to be with Dylan. So. But yeah, so yeah, we're flying. Like I said, a lot of the stuff we've been doing lately is flying. So let's say you got a road, right? Like a dirt road. We figure, because all this shrubbery, you could just pull over in the middle of the desert and then walk like 10 feet and dump a body. And with all the shrub, even though it doesn't look tall,
we are learning more tonight about the suspect in the
disappearance. Real quick. You would never really know, because unless you got out and physically walked out there, or if you showed up right after, something was disposed, then obviously you would have, birds, vultures and stuff flying around. But from what I understand, the locals, after he went missing, especially the one that has a very good vantage point, said they that's one thing that they were keeping an eye out for. Never saw anything flying around. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for going to try and find Dylan. I'm doing all that I can, buddy. And doing that with respecting the family's wishes. Like I said, there's still plenty to search without ever being anywhere near the law enforcement, But like I said, we're trying to do it as official as we can. Nick's getting his drone pilot license. I'm going to be next. The lady that I work with, that helps us out, I should say, with the drone thing. She's been kind of giving me some tips on where to do some classes for search and rescue to kind of, do it in a more official capacity. So, okay. So this is that news article that we just heard just a couple minutes ago. That was from 2 days ago. This next one is from last night. So it's kind of like an update. And then I even have more updates on Jim as well that we'll go over as well.
Appearance of Dylan Rounds. He pleaded not guilty to an unrelated felony gun charge earlier today. And Dylan's family was in the courtroom. News Specialist Matt Rascone has reaction and some more on what we are learning about the suspect's past. Matt?
Yeah, Mike, the suspect was in court in a blue outfit and chains. Behind him were Dylan's family members. In front, attorneys were arguing for and against his release. The judge ultimately determined he's a flight risk and a danger to the community.
It was a little bit of weight lifted off my shoulders just knowing.
200 miles from the search for Dylan Rounds in the vast desert near Nevada.
Good to see him in shackles.
Suspect James Brenner pleaded not guilty to an unrelated charge, being a felon in possession of a firearm.
Until we know, it's hard. I mean, you have emotion, but we need to know.
Dylan's mom, Candace Cooley,
then we can move forward.
Was in the courtroom when the prosecutor recounted what he called Brenner's atrocious history, including a malicious shooting, illegally transporting and possessing a firearm, and a pending aggravated assault charge where he's accused of beating a 70-year-old man.
That's a relief knowing he's not going to get out. They are holding him.
Cooley says Brenner sometimes worked with Dylan. He was his closest neighbor in Lucin when he went missing on May 28th.
He just said he was a crazy old man, lived out in the desert.
According to a
So you hear he's the closest neighbor.
Yes.
So obviously, yeah, he was close.
Complaint after Dylan went missing, Brenner asked a friend to keep 3 muzzle loaders and a rifle safe. When the friend asked why, Brenner said it was for his own safety and that the last time he had trouble with the law, they took everything.
I think James did something to him. I think he snapped. Especially hearing more of what I hear in court.
The Box Elder County Sheriff's Office says they are actively building their case.
That's going to be our key. That's what we need. Somebody to talk.
Until
Yeah, so before I finish that, oops, I just saw it. Okay, let me answer that other question. Yes, we did find a black beanie, and obviously we never touched it. We documented it where it was at. Of course, we would never touch it because the second I touch it, and let's say it was like something that related to Dylan, then the defense attorney could use that to say that I planted it or tampered with it or contaminated it. And it'd be thrown out. So yeah, when you go out there, you see anything, you don't touch it. Somebody else in my comment, when we looking through the camper, or when we were filming the camper and the inside of it, they're like, well, why didn't you check inside the camper and like lift stuff up? I'm like, you can't do that. One, there's a lot of rodent droppings, so I don't want to get some dysentery or whatever. But two, even if we wanted to, if there was something in there, we could contaminate the crime scene. The only thing we could do is document what's there and let my contacts know what's there. So going back to the beanie, yes, I told them what was there, where it's at. We have a GPS app on our phone that shows where we've been at all times, and so they know exactly right where that hat is at. So if it's any clue, they know right where to get it. So yes, they were made aware of that black beanie hours after we found it. So that's really cool about having the contact that we have. Okay, I'll finish this last little bit here.
then, the family is doing what they can to find their son.
Keep looking forward to getting the answers and being able to bring Dylan home.
Brenner is now in U.S. custody on that felony gun charge. He remains a suspect but does not face any charges related to Dylan's disappearance.
Yeah, so that's pretty wild. So he apparently beat up a 70-year-old man with a folding lawn chair in 2021.
I mean, wow, a 70-year-old man.
Yeah, and this is the gym guy. This is James Brenner. And back in 86, he was charged with attempted murder, robbery, and SA. I believe a woman. I didn't get the detail on the gender, but I'm gonna assume a woman. But yeah, but either way, that's just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like he's just been running from some of these charges for a while.
Yes.
So here's me, boots on the ground. One of the things you'll notice. Okay, so I'll pause it here for just a second. You'll notice that it'll look like fresh dirt that had been stirred up. You'll see that a lot out here where we're at. This is actually ant hills, and they're fire ants.
Oh no.
Yes, they're fire ants. So, yeah, so if you do see like fresh dirt, I probably walked past a ton of them. We probably just flew past a bunch of them as well.
Wow.
Yeah, poor Nick, he climbed up on this little mound so he could get a better vantage point for his reception for the drone. And he's sitting there controlling the drone and had no idea that there was a fresh anthill that was up there. No. And so he's paying attention to the drone, making sure everything's good, and starts to notice soon that he's got ants crawling up his legs, and they're fire ants. And so, yeah, he's fine. He didn't get bit or anything, But
wow.
it's funny when we were watching the drone footage. Like, there's 2 times where you see the drone just stop, and that's not like Nick. It's always moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought the film was like something was wrong with the film, and I'm like, or the video itself, and I'm like, and then it was like, no, Nick, just he had to stop and resituate himself because he climbed right on top of a big old anthill. Yeah,
Wow.
fire ants can kill you. Yeah, from what I understand, if you get bitten.
Whoa. Okay. Did not know that.
Yeah, see right there. There's right there. That's it's a fresh anthill right here. It's not really big, but it looks like it's really deceiving because it looks like it's fresh dirt that's been, messed with. So it catches your eye. You're like, ooh, what's this? And so the first 2 times I came across one, I'm like, oh my gosh, ooh, what's this? And I kind of take my stick and dig around. Well, actually, I have my knife, but then I quickly realized it's an anthill.
Oh, no.
So, and then, like I said, me and Nick, we come out very prepared. We spend all day preparing for the next day. When we go out, we make sure we have a whole thing of water. We have 2 radios that we're in constant contact with each other. We have knives. Of course, I have a gun now, just for protection, because it's the first 2 times we did go out there with. I mean, we had knives, but we didn't have guns. And I'm not a big gun person, but I figure, got to be safe when we go out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said you find a lot of things, but Dillon, it's such a big place. It's a needle in a like I use the term needle in an ocean, you know. And so, like I said, they is that even though they're in Lucin, that's why we're fine with going 50 miles the other way, because they need all the help they can get. But obviously we want to respect if they're out in Lucin and they don't want people around that area, then there's still plenty of other areas to search. You got other YouTubers that are out north of Montello searching the Delano Mountains.
Okay.
There's a lot of mines up there. They've been kind of checking out. So it's great to see other people coming together. And I feel bad that, there was going to be a big rally and they were going to search this weekend. But I think the family, well, actually, it wasn't even the family. It was Box Elder, was worried that there was going to be a bunch of people that are not prepared. You know what I mean? And so that's why they released that statement. And obviously they're still out there. They're conducting whatever, the last time we spoke to the locals, they've been really heavily concentrated on the grain shed and around the grain shed, which makes sense. That's where they found the boots. Yeah. So I'm assuming they're trying to find, and they might have found some other stuff for sure,
It's so odd that the boots are there. Like, if he did something to Dillon, whoever.
And the man named as a suspect in the disappearance.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Like, I just mean, why would he take his boots off? You know what I mean? It's a weird thing to do. Unless he did this whole thing, which I think that was a rumor, but when they say take off your boots and run, and if he did like doing that type of thing, like make people run, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Really.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird coincidence, that's for sure. If you see something, go back to that spot, mark the timestamp, and send it to Chris. Yes. So if you guys do see anything, because you guys are seeing new footage, of course, everything I send over to drone people, but and I've actually had a couple people already ask me about this. So they do always need extra help. These nonprofit places that at Search and Rescue, they always need extra volunteers that you just go to the webpage, you answer a few questions, and then you can look over drone footage and stuff like that and help spot anything. And so, yeah, if you guys are watching a replay on this, if you do see something, just put in the timestamp. you just put the number of, the minute of where the video's at, and then just what you see and maybe where it's at on the screen. And then I try to go back over the videos, and then I send that data over to the people with search and rescue. Okay, so then this interview was from yesterday. This is I believe the mother coming out after James's court hearing.
Yes.
Parents of 19-year-old Dylan Rounds was in court today. James Brenner's appearance didn't have anything to do with the teen's disappearance, though. But prosecutors took the opportunity to show what kind of person Brenner is, and what for every person there's a family, and for them that search continues. Here's ABC4's Marcos Ortiz with tonight's Missing in Utah.
Not a bad idea, yeah.
There was no mention of James Brenner being a suspect in the disappearance of Dylan Rounds. He appeared shackled, said very little except not guilty to the firearms violations. But prosecutors say this man is dangerous.
He was either squatting on Dylan's property or the property adjacent to Dylan's. And he had no right to be there.
According to Dylan Rounds' mother, James Brenner often helped her son at his farm. In fact, she said Dylan's boots were found near where Brenner was staying on her son's property. He's now the main suspect in Dylan's disappearance, and there's a $100,000 reward offered for Dylan's whereabouts. But his mother says no one's come forward, and that speaks volumes.
If you offer somebody $100,000, because we've gotten nothing.
So the key may be to break Brenner down.
Correct.
He has the answers.
He has the answers.
Brenner appeared in federal court where he's facing firearms violations. He's a convicted felon with a violent past, according to federal prosecutors.
Oh, he has a lengthy history of violence. He likes to shoot at people. He has a history of shooting at people. And despite the fact of being convicted of those offenses, he continues to carry firearms.
The prosecutor claimed he served time for attempted murder and failed to appear in Box Elder court for allegedly beating up a man last year. After hearing of his criminal past, Dylan's mother is even more convinced Brenner isn't just a suspect.
I think he snapped. Especially hearing more of what I hear in court.
James Brenner was taken back into custody. His bail was denied. He's currently being housed in the Weber County Jail. He'll be back in court Monday in Box Elder County, where he faces more gun violations. For Missing in Utah, Marcus Ortiz, ABC4 News.
So that guy's interesting, Marcus Ortiz. So he's emailed me a bunch of times from ABC4 Utah. We were actually going to do an interview with him while we were out there, but we were just so busy. And be honest, I'm like, it'd be cool to make the news, but that's not why we're doing this. We're just more, we want to help find Dylan, and that's all we care about.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just kind of reading the chat, but yeah. So
people in the chat are saying I look really tired, guys. It's almost 1 a.m. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah. She's in the Netherlands. She's 8 hours ahead of me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, It's almost 1 a.m. Everyone. But I wanted to be here with all of you.
Yes, and it's such an honor to have you on here. Nobody else I'd rather have more on. Because you've started featuring the missing as well, which is really tough to do because it's just if there's something like crazy about the event of how this person went missing, sometimes it's just they get overlooked, sadly. So
exactly, yes, just gotta, I don't know, I still think no matter what, right, that's what we both agree on. It's important to share, even if just a few people see it. Maybe they see something or say something.
So I want to so Miranda, I think the Wadsworths know what happened. I think Kurt might, but I don't think either one's involved in it now. Just after hearing all of Kurt's interviews, I'll be honest, it sounds like he really cared for the kid. Now, I don't know, maybe he did have a relationship further than just being friends. I don't know. But it sounds like he really did care for the kid. Gets kind of mad. Wish it's hard for him to even talk about him in past tense. When you actually sit down and listen to the interview, Because I know it kind of in the beginning, it kind of was made to look like the boogeyman. Well, especially his brother, because he is a registered SO. But as far as Kerr, I mean, sounds. But I would not be surprised if they know something though.
Yeah, just man, see, that's what's sad about the drama. It was just focusing on him and what he did and all the inappropriate things. It could not even be him at all. Wow.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. If you want to email, let's see. If you want to email me, Josh Show, I'd be happy to feature him on an upcoming live show. Just ask my mods. They'll drop my email link. It's knowledgeisop10@gmail.com. I'd be happy to feature him in an upcoming show. So this video is almost over, and then we've got some other new things. So like I said, we're going to show you the 3D mapping that we were talking about. So we're gonna talk about that here in just a minute. But yeah, I didn't see any as far as like people wondering if we saw snakes or because there is rattlesnakes out there. We didn't see any rattlesnakes. We've seen a snake one time. We've been out there, but it wasn't a rattler. It was I want to say like a garden snake.
I remember you showed it, but you saw a squirrel. That was the most dangerous thing.
Yeah, squirrel is the one that gave me the heart attack. That's why we got the new squirrel emoji. If you become a member, you can get access to emojis. You get access to exclusive videos that I put out. I have tons of extra footage that I'm going to be putting out for the members. So much. It's crazy. But let's sip my Pepsi. So we're about done, and then we're going to switch over to the 3D model and show you guys what we can do with this new app. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it's at the end. Okay. I think there's a couple things at the end I want to show here. So it's coming up here in just a second. The one thing I did forget is my little selfie stick that's got the gimbal on it. I forgot to bring that out where it stabilizes it. I'm always like super prepared, if not over prepared. And then the one thing I forget was the thing I usually use to kind of keep the camera steady. So I apologize for the non-steady camera.
Does yours also have like battery that runs out? Because my gimbal thing, it lasts like 20 minutes. So annoying.
Oh,
stabilizes for about 20. Yeah, it like literally compensates for movement, but it lasts for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Oh, I love that. Oh yes. Okay, just to take a break. Yes. Okay. Mama Four says, "Thank you, Chris and Nick. Great drone coverage, and hello, Gisela." Oh, thank you so much, Mama Four. You are so sweet. Okay, just before we switch over to the cool 3D drone stuff, we did come across some goats. We thought we'd show this for just a second. We love goats, and they're very talkative.
They're going to. Oh, the other. Oh my God, that white one's pooping some more. Oh my goodness. So that's a other poop. Oh!
I love you.
I love you too. Oh, they're all pooping.
There's two babies right there. Oh yeah, I guess you can't see my mouse, but yeah, they're to the left. There's little two babies there. But and then the cow.
They're the best.
Yeah, bye. So good.
Oh, the cow says like, "What the hell?" The cow is like, "What the?"
Yeah, so the cow was like, "Wait a minute, you guys, they're getting all the attention. We're not."
Yeah, what about?
Goats are the best. We actually had goats here on our property, or in our backyard, because we have basically a farm. We have 7 chickens, 2 turkeys, 3 dogs, and 5 cats.
You got a zoo.
Yeah, so we have a zoo. We used to have a goat here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we are going to share screen. Oh, I don't need to because that's already ready to stream. Okay, cool. All right. So as you guys know, we talked about this before we went out, the whole drone deploy thing. So now this was our first time doing this, and it worked great, but it didn't work as well as we wanted to, and I'll kind of explain why. Because one of the cool things, the plan is when we first got out there, now that we have the contacts with, search and rescue, was to map out a big area, and then I can upload that to Drone Deploy, and they can start looking at it in real time, and they can start navigating it. So as you can see, we flew over a certain area, and we mapped out this, area here. All these little things you see up here are every time the drone took a picture. So we're kind of looking at a 3D model, but at any point, so let me zoom in first and just kind of show you. So this is kind of a 3D model.
Wow.
Which is really cool. We can kind of get in down there. Fortunately, we kind of flew a little too high. This was just, trial and error. But it's really cool to actually map out. I can't wait until we can map out some washes and stuff like that. This place is an abandoned place here.
Wow.
And
Chris, did you know that you have 55 gifted memberships? 50 from Copper Horse and 5 from Kimberly Russell. I know StreamYard doesn't show it.
Oh, is that right?
It's so
Thank you.
cool.
Oh, thank you guys so much. No, it doesn't show it. Yeah, if I don't shout anybody out, I am sorry. StreamYard is not my favorite thing. Maybe I should pull up my stream on my phone or something here.
Yeah.
Okay. I will here in just a minute when I play video. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, if you send me, if I miss anything, I will shout you guys out. Yeah, it doesn't tell you on this. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Stream, I always miss it too. I
Okay.
just keep the other one open. Yeah. Okay.
So,
sorry. This is
who
cool.
was it, Michelle?
Copper Horse and Kimberly Russell.
Okay, thank you so much, Kimberly, and thank you so much, Copper Horse. That's so cool.
More emojis.
Wow, 50? That's so cool. Okay, so let me show you guys what's really cool. So as you guys can see, this is where the drone was flying, and these are pictures. So I can literally click on one of these little triangles, and now we see the real photo. We can zoom in. Now, obviously, we wanted to, the plan is to fly a little higher so we could cover more ground, send that over to the drone team, and then if they see something that's suspicious, then we go back in and go down closer. The only problem is, like I said, this is our first time doing it. We flew a little too high. So unfortunately, it still mapped everything out, but it's not where we wanted it to be, unfortunately. But at least we know,
awesome.
Now we're learning. But yeah, it's really cool that you can literally just like, we'll check this picture out, which is over the thing. So now you can actually see what it looks like. So, I mean, it's really amazing. So now this is the 3D model, of course, but this is the real deal here.
Wow, the detail. Oh, my word.
Yeah, it's really cool. Now, imagine if we got lower. But like I said, this is our first time using it. And so, as you can see, this is a big, giant area.
Yeah.
And we mapped out this whole entire thing. This is 600 plus. This is almost like 700 acres. I would say probably, I don't know, like 10 football fields, maybe more.
Wow.
So we can hit elevation. And so what's cool about elevation now, like I said, this is the same thing. We flew a little too high because we were, like I said, new to this, and we were trying to do a high flyby and then send everything in. The problem, what happened is we didn't realize how long it was going to take to upload to the cloud. Took a whole lot longer. So unfortunately, our plan didn't go as well as we wanted it to. We're kind of bummed on that. We still got what we wanted, but it just didn't get sent in like we wanted to. But what's cool about the elevation is you can really get in, and you could tell if there's areas that have been recently disturbed.
Oh my word. Wow.
But we need to get in a little bit closer, but so areas like this is kind of something you'd look into. So let me take that off. Let me go into 3D model. So here's a 3D model. The footage that we were showing you here was me walking this wash around this area here. The beanie that we found was actually, which was pretty cool. So here's the car. The beanie we found was actually, ooh, sorry, I'm still learning the controls on this. It's like Google Earth, but much more advanced. But the beanie I found was like probably like right here. So they knew exactly where to, if they wanted to come out and look. But it's pretty neat. And then we go over here and we add the photos. So 690 photos it took, which is a lot.
Yeah.
So as you can see, all those, sorry, I'm still learning. There we go. So now if we wanted to go, okay, let's look at a real photo. And now we're looking at a real photo in 4K quality. I said, we just unfortunately made the mistake of going a little too high. But, you know, it's just trial and error. But we'll get better.
Yeah.
And we would love to, you know, get a second drone. As you can see, we can clip that. And now we can look. See if I can get one that's over the wash here. So here's the wash. Shift over one. There we go. So this wash was unique, even though it don't look like it. So, you know, the washes that we flew through that usually don't have any shrub in it.
Oh, yeah.
Vegetation, whatever you want to call it. This wash did. So it really piqued our interest because you could easily, let me back out, just get into the 3D model here. Sorry. Still learning these controls. It's tough. It is. Okay, there it is. There we go. But what's unique about this wash, like I said, all this here where what's really thick is a wash. I don't know why it's not letting me. It's got to be in the model. Okay, here we go. Is that you could easily dump something in here, and unlike the other washes that we flew over, this wash, it's got all the shrub in it. You would, you just have all that shrub that you just toss something in there and no one would ever know, you know?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because now it's a big giant ditch with all the shrubbery in it. And so this definitely had our attention. So I couldn't walk in it, but I did walk alongside of it. Part of it I was during the live show, and then I've got footage of me walking alongside of it. But like I said, it's very different from the other washes we flew over just because it has that shrub in there, which is really interesting. So, yeah, like I said, the only thing is we got a 7-day trial. It's $100 to actually have the app going. It's $100 a month.
Oh, wow.
But if we
That's a
go
lot.
back out there, we will do it just because there's a lot of advantages to doing that. And just to show you, when you're flying low,
Oh, wow.
so when you fly low, this is what you can really accomplish. So this
My word.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
So we want to definitely go back out there. We were having some trouble with the wind. That's kind of the other reason why we were kind of flying high. But yeah, and then so like I said, if you add the photos, then you actually see.
Oh, my word. There's so much detail.
Yeah, and that's in 4K quality. So pretty crazy. Like I said, the 3D mapping, it was cool. We just needed to obviously use it some more because that was our first time. And unfortunately, we flew a little too high. But the next time we go out there, it's trial and error basically. And Blind Squirrel says, I have EHang drones. Does drone deploy work? Any drone or to DJI? Good job with the success on your YouTube channel. Thank you, Blind Squirrel. I'm not sure exactly what drone deploy. Obviously, if you go to drone deploy, it'll let you know what ones are compatible with the drone deploy. So you can easily just go to dronedeploy.com and then just look up all the drones that are compatible with and to see if the drone you have is compatible with it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this EHang or EHang ones. It doesn't seem like it. If you go to it, yeah, as you say, to drone deploy, it says supported for capture and processing. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it was really cool. We flew low on this area, but like I said, if we flew a little bit lower, we'd get a lot more detail. We just, like I said, it was our first time doing it. Next time we'll know to go much lower, of course. So, did I miss Apple Pip? Oh, Chris, I just heard Chase may be involved in a homicide in April 2022. Interesting.
What?
So I do have some updates on Chase. I guess since you mentioned that, I guess we'll go over those as well. And then I will play. Okay, so give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. So we did that one. Okay. So I'm going to play this. While we're watching this, I am going to go over what I just heard. And thank you so much, Apple Pip. And thank you for obviously the PayPal as well. And thank Lenoa. And I got to find one more. I'll check my phone here in just a second. So, okay. So James Brenner. 2 things for James Brenner. So when he was booked, apparently his height was 5'10". Apparently that was a mistake that was entered in. A lady who is very super sweet that hopefully I'll have on the show at some point who lives out here. She goes by YouTube name Gloria Dellin, I think it's how it's pronounced. I hope I didn't butcher that. She went to his preliminary hearing yesterday. So obviously he was in court because he was violating his probation because he had guns and everything. Of course, he pled not guilty to those charges. Let's see. At that time, he was not given bail. I don't know if he's been denied bail, if they're just hadn't offered bail. I'm not sure on that yet. But she says on his height, because she was kind of sitting behind him, she says that he looked more like a 5'4". So he's not short, but he's not tall. Okay. So I don't think he's the guy that had to pull the seat forward. I still feel like all that's just a setup in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. What do you think about the truck?
About the truck?
Yeah, just like the setup.
Oh, just the seat and everything. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a total setup. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I've been hearing that apparently Dylan Rounds did power wash his own truck.
Oh my word! Wait, like, how do they know that? Oh.
So I need to double check that, but that's been the rumor, is that he actually did, because apparently he was doing some work prior to that.
Oh wow.
And apparently had oil in the back of the truck and he needed to clean it out. That's what I've been hearing. Right now I'll just say that's a rumor, but I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just feel like somebody's probably pulled the seat forward. Maybe they just pulled the seat forward because they were looking for something.
Maybe he pulled it forward because he's cleaning oil at the back. If that's a speculation that's going around, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And okay, so and then of course we talked about the charge about 2000 last year, the 70-year-old man. He has his next trial. His next court date is August 12th. Apparently, it is going to be, I think, like a Zoom meeting, but I don't know if you can only get in it if you're like a local.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I live in Utah, so I will probably, depending on that date, what I'm doing, but I'll probably try to go to that court myself as well. And Black Dove, yeah. So Black Dove was in Zavgirl's channel, so. He's got some good information. So it was Kurt that told Dylan he watched it himself. Okay, thank you, Black Dove.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Maybe sometime I'd love to have you on. You seem to like, quite a bit. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Hey, Raina, and thank you for the PayPal as well, Raina. Then Chase, moving over to Chase real quick, because kind of what I've been doing is kind of on the lead for Chase, and where we were out searching. And so Chase obviously had been fled Montana for some charges that he had, because obviously he was arrested on unrelated charges.
Yes.
So that is why he had some warrants out, because he fled from those charges. And then obviously he was picked up near mile marker 53, and we'll show that area here in a little bit.
What was he doing? Well, his behavior is so strange.
Oh, Chase's?
Yeah, what was Chase doing?
Yeah.
He's like out there barefoot, bloodied up, scratched up. Then he's apparently digging in a bag, looking in the sand, saying, "Where's my kids?" It's so weird.
Yeah, so this lady, Gloria Dellin, she, who, like I said, she's such a sweet lady. I cannot wait to talk to her. But apparently, one of Chase's ex-girlfriends had called her recently. She was actually in contact with her.
Oh.
And apparently the ex-girlfriend of Chase said that he seemed like a nice guy in the beginning, but he's bad news.
Yeah, he sounds very unstable.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then his trial, his next court date is September 12th, from what I understand. So it looks like
September 12th.
you have August, and then you have September. August for James, and September for Chase.
Okay.
So I've got those written down.
Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
Oh yeah, that was so cool. Did you see that?
Yeah. What was that?
It's an arrowhead.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Okay.
Yep. That was so cool to find. I was like, what? Just sitting there flat facing up. I've got it right here, as a matter of fact. Oh, it's black, so it might not show up. Oh, it does.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's so cool. It's almost like it's what the Indians would use for an arrowhead,
Yeah.
They would kind of just basically an arrowhead. It's like perfect shape. So cool. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, after I found this is when a squirrel popped up. I'm not even kidding you. There's actually a squirrel to my left right now in the video.
The squirrels go everywhere with you.
Yeah, he's actually on the other side of the wash. Because I saw something run across for a minute. Well, actually, he wasn't running. He was kind of like slow. Just kind of like. So I think he's like my sidekick.
Yeah.
So yeah, he should be like in the scene somewhere. But yeah, it was so crazy. So, okay, this video is almost over. Unfortunately, I'm getting a call and I can't pick it up right now. Okay, I've got to check my PayPal real quick, guys, while this finishes.
And you got a super sticker earlier from Belle of Amherst.
Oh, okay. Thank you guys so much. I am on, like I said, I usually use my normal Streamlabs, but when I have guests on, I use StreamYard, and I don't get like the notifications like I do on.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. But yes, thank you, Raina. And if I miss anybody, I'm sorry. I will definitely make it up to you guys in the next live show. Oh, I just want to read this message. So yeah, I'm hearing a lot of things about apparently he is wearing Dylan's hat.
But it's not the same hat. If you look at it, because the logo, the logo looks like all squiggly on the one that he's wearing, and Dylan's one is perfectly round. So I don't know. Just doesn't look like the
we'll
exact same
have
hat.
to pull that up, and so we can either credit it or discredit it. So
I think it's on Twitter.
Okay, so this is just so like I said, as you guys know, I send all my stuff in to the drone specialist, and then they have this amazing software that can go through all the footage, and it's just amazing. It'll just pick out any debris that's not supposed to, anything that's not supposed to be there. If it's not dirt or brush, it's going to pick it up, basically. And so, and it'll zoom in on this one here in just a second.
Just trying to find you that picture.
So, of course, I had to tell her because she kept pointing these out because it pops up on her thing as like freshly digged soil. But it's the anthills. So I had to kind of tell her, I'm like, yeah, we see how she's pointing them out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, no, those are anthills, but obviously it doesn't hurt to point everything out.
Fire ants.
Yeah. This is what's interesting is you can kind of see where there's like a freshly dug soil here. But I will show more of that. I just barely got these photos back, so I need to kind of crop them and zoom them in for you guys. I just barely got them in just before we went live here.
You know what? I take it back. The hat looks like the same hat. I take it back. Oh, man. I'm going to send it to you on Twitter now. I don't know if you have your Twitter open at all, but
I can open it up.
I will send you the two pictures, and I'm like, what? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. It looks to be.
Let's look at it.
Let's quickly find you on Twitter.
Let's look at it.
Okay, I send it here. This one and this one. All right. I'm sending it. Should be there.
Okay.
Oh, man. Why would he be wearing Dylan's hat? That's crazy. That's like literally his hat. Okay,
unless it's a company hat. Unless it's a company hat.
Maybe. The picture they showed before, it looked so different. It looked like Dylan's, like the logo was round or whatever. But it looks the same.
Okay.
Oh, my word.
We'll do a side by side here. I'm going to get it set up, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yep, we will do a side by side. I'm setting it up. I'm going to zoom in and everything on it.
That's crazy. This guy, oh my word. That he would even
that looks like the same hat. Makes me wonder if it's like a company hat though.
Yeah. Yeah, now we've got to figure out, does Don also have one? Who has one? How many people have this? But wow.
Yeah. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so we'll put him on the right. And let me find Dawn. There's Dawn. Okay. Oh, that's ooh.
Yeah. Wow.
But it makes me wonder if that's like just a company hat, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what it says on it.
Yeah,
Does it
we're
say
gonna
like John Deere or something? I think it says John Deere, maybe.
Oh, if it's a John Deere, then gosh, they're
I'm not sure.
and that's everybody's farmer hat. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, so let's look at his. Yeah, that's a John Deere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's John Deere.
John Deere, so I'm guessing they would maybe all have one.
That's John Deere is very household brand name.
Yeah, and I wonder when this picture of Jim here was taken.
And it's got the squiggly. Yeah, it's the same hat. It's the same hat.
Same hat.
It is.
So maybe it's a common hat, or maybe he's crazy enough to literally wear his hat.
Now the question is when was this picture taken, though?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because I mean, would he have his picture taken after this whole thing went down?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would love to know because the news. This was the first time I ever seen Jim was on the news because people kept showing like pictures of who they thought were Jim, but they weren't. They were somebody else. I'm like, oh no. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah,
because they were taking snapshots from the Heavy D Sparks video.
Oh yes.
And say, "Oh, is that Jim?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't think so." But yeah, that is definitely the same hat. But keep in mind, we don't know when this photo was taken. I mean, from
some
what I
people
understand,
in the chat are saying it's recent. I don't know how we know, but wow.
Yeah. So.
What? If it was taken after he went missing, that's crazy. Whoa, imagine it. He's just like, I'm going to pop on his hat. Oh, wow. Just toss the boots 150 yards behind his trailer and pop on the hat. Imagine that. Wow.
Yeah, so, Vonda said, yeah, Jim is clean shaven. Yeah, so apparently he don't look like this.
Okay.
Now, obviously, that would have been recent. Obviously, he's going to court. They're going to clean him up, make him look like a grandfather figure, you know. So.
Wow.
Just kind of reading some chat here. So, but yeah, we are going to try to get back out there for Dylan. We've been going out there once a week to help for the search. We would love to go back out there again. Any donations, PayPal, anything does help us. Anything that comes into the channel, obviously, we give right back with this channel. So, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. And even if you can't donate, just being here and commenting and stuff like that is help support the channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is crazy. That is the same exact hat. I mean,
Yep.
It is. But being a John Deere hat, that's really like, sounds like they went to a convention and everybody got John Deere hats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or there's only one store in Montello and the only hats they sell is John Deere hats.
Right.
Makes me want to know, like, I should go into that gas station there because obviously it's got a few gifts in there. We never.
Oh yeah.
Probably go
and
Yeah. See, I would not be surprised if they have like John Deere hats or something. But that is creepy, though. I mean, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Let me check my notes real quick. What's up, Rocky K9? Sorry you're late. That's a bummer. Any final thoughts that you're thinking about on this case? Just while I'm checking my notes.
No, I just really like being here because it's drama free. We stick to the facts. We look a little bit like this and go, what, maybe. But I mean, we don't like, I say this is definitely it. You know what I mean? So it's very nice to be here. Thank you again for having me here. Even the chat is so calm and so nice. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So I just saw that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So there's so there's kind of like it's a general store / gas station.
Yeah.
And I know what I want to do. Just a quick little map time real quick. Just real quick.
Oh. Have you seen Dylan's TikTok as well? Because it shows the farm a little bit better. He had a TikTok account. I don't know. I think it was at Dylan Rounds, but it's so cool how you can actually see that he really was planting crops and watering it. And
yeah, he had some really cool photos.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so one of the things that I know is that he did at one point have Brenner had a trailer here. From multiple different people telling me this, but I don't think that's where he was squatting.
Yeah, Candace was saying 150 yards from the boots. I mean, that's so close to the boots, I wonder then how long was he squatting so close to where the boots were found?
So that would have been on this property here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did hear that. I've heard it was either at this location or this location, but one of the two.
Yeah.
There was one more thing I wanted to share. I wanted to share. Park Valley. Okay. So this is where Chase Venstra got picked up. So the main two ways to get out of Lucin, there's basically just the main two ways, is you've got Highway 30, which takes you into Nevada going west. Or if you go east, you go up this way, Highway 30, and that'll take you into Park Valley. Now, what's interesting about Park Valley is the FBI were over here during week 3? Mm-hmm. So a week after they got there, they were checking out Park Valley. So I think that's interesting. Mile marker 53 is about right here. So apparently this is where Chase's father came and picked Chase up.
And how did he get there?
That's the question. That's the question. Yeah. That's a very good question. And I think, and some others possibly think, that let's say it was Jim and Chase. I definitely think, what do you think? I definitely think at least 2 people are involved in this.
Yeah. It would seem so. Yes.
I would definitely think at least 2 people are involved. So it's just theory. If Chase was part of this, he went down south somewhere and maybe dumped something off here and then came back up and got picked up.
Yep.
That's a theory. So, like I said, just give me an idea. I'm not sure exactly where we're at, but we've been searching this area. So as you can see, we are a long way from Lucin and not bothering anybody by being over here.
Yeah.
But we're on a lead over here, and like I said, we're not bothering anybody in Lucin. So that's why we were given the green light to go out to where we were going because, obviously in Lucin, things are still going on. And sounds like they're just tearing this place apart.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so. I mean, you found the boots, and it makes me sound like maybe if they found like a wallet or a key fob, one of the other 2 missing items.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of pushed them even more to kind of search everything. So, but
and especially arresting Jim now. Like literally, I don't say anything unless I know it, right? So Candace said it herself in yesterday's presser when she spoke to the media, in saying that he squatted 150 yards from the boots, and I'm like, man, he was living right there. This guy. I'm glad. Like she said, I'm glad he's in shackles. Me too.
Yeah. So a person I haven't really talked about is what's his name? Robert Avilius.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still looking into him.
Oh.
But yeah, he could be a possible person of interest. he did get arrested on some drug charges, but that name definitely has been popping up a lot as well.
Yeah.
And the only problem, like I said, the first month that we've been doing this is since we've been going out there and everything, I haven't been digging too much into, all these persons of interest just because we're,
Yeah.
don't want to run into them. But, now with Jim arrested, Chase, those two being incarcerated, it's not a big deal to talk about them because obviously they're behind bars, and it sounds like Jim's not a very good person. So, law enforcement, FBI won't do press conferences. They don't have information to share with public. Yeah, especially FBI. FBI,
yeah,
they don't talk about anything, even if they did find stuff.
Yeah,
they're not ones to share and tell. So, okay, so we're almost at the hour 30-minute mark. If you have any quick questions, I might tackle a couple real quick just before we go. Jim's trailer was right there by his boots. He was the squatter. He was the guy. So, yeah. So it looks like a lot of people are confirming that was by the boots.
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes sense. I mean, it was kind of eerie, though, that, so that trailer that we found was right here.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of eerie. Well, actually, where's the place that we found? I do have it marked. Oh, right here. Excuse me. With those trailers that we found up here that were really curious looking. It was kind of weird because after we had sent those in, it was kind of strange that he got arrested for squatting in a trailer. So I was kind of thinking at first, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did we just give away somebody's location, that was squatting? But
yeah,
sounds like he was a lot closer. Which is weird because it's like, why are you squatting so close to where they're investigating?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
wow,
not very bright. Yeah. Yes, from grain shed to Dillon's was 5 miles. So you have the grain shed here, and then you have the farm, which is right here. And it's exactly like pretty much spot on 5 miles. Talk Sue, $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Talk Sue. I like that name, Talk Sue.
Yeah.
Nice little ring to it. That's cool. So, let me just see if there's any more real quick I could just answer or point out real quick. So the person that was supposedly that was Chase. Chase apparently just kind of stumbled out of the desert and was kind of bloodied and missing boots, and apparently Dillon gave him a ride. People are saying Dillon had a problem getting the gate key to the seed in the shed. I have not heard that. Look into that for sure. Oh yeah, they did find a dead person in. Did you hear about that? They did find some dead person in the desert not too long ago. It seems unrelated, but it is interesting.
Wow.
I believe died from exposure.
Oh wow. Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, even though it's a desert, it's warm during the day, but it can cool down.
Yes.
To the point to you'll freeze to death. That's a good question. Well, it's a question that's been asked a lot, but it's just something that he did. If from what the mother says, he would just walk it, and you got to remember you're walking a straight line, so it's just straight 5 miles, and it's just straight land. I mean, there's a few obstacles, but really, it's a straight shot, really, on this road. And
wow,
when you're moving multiple machineries, I guess it's just easier to just hike that. I guess I really don't understand. I'm not a farmer, so I can't really speculate too much on that. But that is what he did anyway. I don't know if that's what he did that day. I speculate. I think he was at the grain truck or near the grain shed when he called his grandmother, and just happened to call her just as he was about to put it in, and then she went to call back and he never answered. So it sounds like whatever happened probably happened that Saturday morning or afternoon, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Miss Stu. Isn't it just a barbed wire fence gate? It is. Yeah, we have been up to that fence. I would play the video, but I have to get it all sorted. But yes, it is. It's just a barbed wire fence, and apparently they had like maybe a small little padlock on it. You could really, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably jimmy it, get around it. It's not your typical gate that people would think of.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think they each had their own key, Dylan and Jim. So yeah, 341. This is where it pinged, but not sure exactly. This is just more of an approximate location, but that's in the Heavy D Sparks video. She kind of explains that. And I do have a video kind of going in more detail about that. So, but anyway, 5 miles, hopefully comfy boots. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oops. Missed it. Chat goes too fast. So, all right, guys. Yeah, just usually do a show about an hour and a half. I do have some new pets. I updated the pet video as well. So if you'd like to if you're new to the channel and you haven't sent in some pictures of your pets, just email me with the names of your pets and your pictures of the pets. And I do outros where I get to show the pets of my viewers, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh. Wow.
Got the fence one day, drove in because, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, thanks, Bill. Yeah, because, yeah, you could easily just cut it. Because, like I said, it's just nothing big to it. It's just a couple wires and a wooden post. So there's not much to the gate itself. But, any last words, Gisela?
No, I just really hope they find Dylan. At the end of the day, I really hope that they will find Dylan and that this case will not ever be like unsolved or a cold case. I hope that the person who did whatever they did is held accountable.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, well, first off, let me just say thank you so much for coming on. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on again. It's always nice to be with the mob crew. Awesome. To be with you guys. Yes.
A lot of us before we even got together, I noticed we kind of had the same community.
Yes.
I go check on her channel before we even met, and I was like, oh, I recognize those people. They're a lot of people from my channel, so it was really cool.
Yep.
So easy transition to collab.
Yes.
So for members, I've got some upcoming videos for the members. I've got some for all tiers, of course. What else was I going to say? And if I did miss any shout outs, I will the next time. I'm sorry. It's StreamYard. It's a lot different. I don't get the same notifications I do with OBS, but that's okay. We'll get to you next time. But if you did send something in, I appreciate it. It helps us to go find Dylan. And of course, we will want to go right back out there. And I'm hoping to maybe get a car. It's because right now we're using my aunt's car to go out there, so it's kind of, I don't want to break her car down and then, so.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, that would be no good.
2 car down then.
Yeah. All right, guys. I love you guys. So the outro is going to play here in just a second. These are been updated with new pets from my viewers. So
we love it.
You guys can stay for that and say goodbye to everybody. And once again, I love you guys so much. And hopefully I can get it started.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Gisela.